Hey everybody, Jem Schofield here with the C47 and another episode of Gearbox. Sunday morning, pre-normal coffee intake here. I'm trying to get to the beach with the family and get a little bit of extra time in before school starts up next week. And that's the deal. So, a lot of questions about this right here, the Mighty Mouse, affectionately named by somebody at the meetup last week right after Canon Expo. It is the S95 point-and-shoot camera. It has the Z Finder frame on it with the Z Finder, and it is attached to a single flash bracket from Alzo, which is about $13. This one has two cold shoes, so you can use it for a couple of things. On it, I have the SM3, which is the shock mount from RØDE. And you probably hear the kids in the background there. This mic is sort of pointing right towards the house. And what's nice about this shock mount is that it not only fits the Zoom H1 recorder perfectly, it's also adjustable, which is important when you're recording and using it right on this little rig, because you really want to be able to point that down and aim that and really get it right, you know, in the right place. Not a huge fan of using stereo mics, which is what's right behind this little foam windscreen, which comes with the accessory kit you can get for the Zoom H1. But for a rig like this, it does the job. If you saw the last episode, saw me using it handheld, using this little handle from RØDE, which actually has a cold shoe. Well, it has a mount here. Yeah, it has cold shoe, so you can actually use the shock mount on there. Maybe somebody's hurt. Who knows what's going on back there? But somebody's in there to make sure things go okay. So that's it. That's the rig. That's the core rig here. This is what you use for available light. I am definitely gonna get the LensMate Online adapter kit. I need to confirm that it will fit the S95 as well, because it's designed for the S90. But it's a little piece that goes on here, and then there's an adapter that takes 37mm filters. And you can put polarizers and ND and things like that right onto the camera. Very low profile. When you're not attaching anything, it's just a little tiny piece that's sticking out. You can still close the lens and everything. Less even so than the frame from the Z Finder. So very, very cool. I'm going to be getting that for stuff. And just remember that this camera was not bought for, you know, primarily for its video functions. I wanted a little point and shoot still camera. And the fact that it's shooting 720p 24 frames per second really was sort of the thing that put it over the edge for me. And with that said, I'm not sure if this is going to be the sort of on-the-road gearbox camera or not. It really does function well as a little video camera, but you have to get around its gotchas. When you're in movie mode on this camera, you can change the exposure prior to recording. You can depress the shutter halfway and it will do an autofocus, you know, sort of focus in, similar to the way the DSLRs do. But once you hit record, you're locked in for that recording session. So just know that you're not changing focal length when you're recording, you're not changing exposure when you're recording, you are not doing those things once you hit the record button. And once you get out of that, you can make all those changes again, and then you can start to record. It does have a built-in stereo mic, which is fine. Gives you decent reference audio, so it was no problem for me to actually have levels there and you know, waveforms so that I could sync up. And usually when I just do single episodes of Gearbox now, I don't use pluralize. I use that on bigger jobs where I need to take multiple clips and I need to sync them, because, you know, audio is starting to record at the same time generally. You can see those waveforms, match them up, nudge them by a frame or two, and it's usually pretty good stuff. So that's the core kit. The other thing that you really need to think about is lighting. And as I've discussed before, hold on one second. I have been thinking about using this little 770L, which I really like because it's so incredibly lightweight. It has a built-in battery, runs for about an hour and a half, has the built-in barn doors, so it has that advantage. It is a little bit bulky, pretty small, but a little bit bulky. So the other light that I've been looking at here is this other light by Alzo here. And if you take all the pieces off of this thing, that's the entire light right there. Takes Sony style batteries, In fact, this light only comes with the battery and the charger and stuff. It's a little bit more expensive. It runs about $175, but what it has is it has two high-powered LEDs here. And you turn this thing on, and that's both the lights together. That is one light, and no dimmer or anything like that, but it puts out a very even, round light pattern. So easy to diffuse, easy to use on camera. Weight-wise, about the same as what you're looking at with something like this. So a little bit smaller profile, a little bit easier to put in the case, and maybe the one that I use with the Mighty Mouse rig. A lot of the time I'm not going to actually have this mic on here. I'm going to either hand hold it or have a lav plugged in and have it clipped to a belt. So this light may be what replaces this space right here, though you could mount it on the side. It'll be a little lopsided, but quite frankly this rig weighs so little that it doesn't actually matter. So that's the little rig. Need a little ND for it, need a polarizer. That was my voice breaking because of the lack of coffee. That happens on a Sunday morning. And the only other thing I would think about getting is a little 12-inch diffuser for an LED light. If you're using especially something as powerful as the 790, it's worth that. And also, you're going to need headphones here. I need smaller ones because for a little setup like the Mighty Mouse, I just want some small collapsible headphones. I've seen some from, I think it's called Skull Candy, I think. And I saw some small ones over at Adorama the other day that I thought might work. They were about 40 or 50 bucks. And I just want to keep this kit as small as possible. Now I'm keeping everything currently in that core kit without a light in this little Cotta bag. I don't know if they still sell this. I'm assuming that they do. But I can keep an extra charger in here, a couple of batteries. I can keep everything I showed you before minus the light, and that's not a problem. So everything we did at Canon Expo was inside of this bag. I'll have to go get that in a minute, including some business cards. And I like it because it was just incredibly comfortable to carry this thing around. I got this for being a speaker at some sort of conference, but I'll look it up and see if it's online, because it's a good bag for that kind of setup. I'm done. I'm going to the beach, and I'll see you guys next time on Gearbox.